Hi friends, welcome to BVR English for All YouTube channel. In our channel we discuss English lessons and poems of first year and second year. Today we are going to discuss a lesson from intermediate second year, that is the first lesson of the prose, that is Of Studies. Of Studies was written by Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon was born in 1561 and passed away in 1626. He was born in London, in Britain. He was considered to be one of the greatest writers of English. He was a great philosopher. What is meant by philosopher? Philosopher is a man who likes wisdom, who seeks enlightenment, and he is also a statesman. Statesman means he is a politician. What kind of politician? Wise, skillful, and respected politician. He is called the father of English essay. Why? He introduced many forms to the essay into English language. That's why he was called the father of English essay. He was also the pioneer of modern scientific thought. Pioneer means he was the first person who introduced the scientific thought in modern years. He was also considered to be the scientist. The present lesson of studies is an extract from the essays or counsels, civil or moral, of Bacon. It is the actual title of the book. This lesson is taken from the book. Okay, this is the brief introduction about the present author Francis Bacon. Now let's move to the discussion. Of Studies, written by Francis Bacon. Of Studies, considered to be the masterpiece of Francis Bacon because it was written 400 years ago in 1597, and this Of Studies was enriched with lot of Latin vocabulary and wisdom. That's why it's considered to be the masterpiece of Francis Bacon of his writings. Studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. Their chief use for delight is in privateness and retiring, for ornament is in discourse, and for ability is in the judgment and disposition of business. For expert men can execute and perhaps judge of particulars one by one, but the general counsels and the plots and marshalling of affairs come best from those that are learned. Look at this first line of the paragraph. Studies. What is the meaning of study here? Reading. Reading something such as books, such as magazines, such as magazines, or such as newspapers or something. They serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. Serve for means they produce or they give us three major things. What are they? Delight, ornament, and ability. Here delight refers to pleasure. Ornament refers to an element of decoration or beauty. Ability refers to skill or the power. Here you see, according to Francis Bacon, studies give us three major aspects. The first one, delight, means pleasure or happiness. Second one, ornament means a beauty. Third one is ability means skill or power. Their chief use for delight is in privateness and retiring. In the first line, he says, what does the study give us? In the second line, he says, in what context, in what situation we get these three things. Delight refers to happiness. We get happiness in what context? Their chief use for delight is in privateness and retiring. When we are lonely, when we are in our privacy, when we are in our leisure time, we get pleasure, we get happiness by reading the books. For ornament is in discourse. For ornament means an element of decoration or beauty. Study also gives us beauty. In what context? When we have a conversation or when we have a speech, when we speak something, if we study the books, we get that beauty in our speech. Because of this quality, we say some person speaks and we appreciate them. Why? Because of this quality. There lies some beauty in their speech. And for ability is in the judgment and disposition of business. We get three major things: pleasure or happiness, and beauty, and ability. We get ability. The third thing is ability. This ability is useful in what context? In the judgment and disposition of business. In the judgment, we evaluate something, what is good and what is bad. We estimate about something or about an issue, and we take a decision out of it, what is correct and what is incorrect. Disposition of business. Execution. How do we implement our thoughts into practicality is disposition of business. How do we tackle or handle the situations and how to solve the problems in our daily life? So this is the advantage of the studies. So in the first two sentences, Francis Bacon tells or talks about the advantages or the uses of studies. What are the uses here? Delight. We get happiness. Ornament. We get beauty into our speech or conversation. We get ability to how to handle the situations, how to solve the problems in our daily life. That what we talks about in the first part of this paragraph. For expert man can execute and perhaps judge of particulars one by one. For expert man, the skilled persons can implement those ideas or thoughts into practicality. And perhaps judge of particulars. They also judge, they take decisions, what is correct, what is incorrect, one by one in an order. But the general counsels means pieces of judgment, and the plots, secret plans, marshalling of affairs, keeping something in the order, arranging them in the order. Marshalling of affairs come best from those that are learned. He says, the learned people, the people who study well, who reads the books well, one who reads the books well, can have these qualities. What kind of qualities? They can execute, they can implement their thoughts, and they can judge, they can take decisions, and general counsels, they can have pieces of judgment, and they can make secret plans, sometimes we need, and marshalling of affairs, keeping our affairs, our daily works into the order. That these qualities best achieved by those persons, they involve in the learning, they involve in the reading, they spend time for study. So finally, what we can conclude that is, this paragraph talks about the advantages of the studies. We are moving to the second paragraph of the lesson. To spend too much time in studies is sloth, to use them too much for ornament is affectation, to make judgment wholly by their rules is the humor of a scholar. They perfect nature and are perfected by experience. For natural abilities are like natural plants that need pruning by study, and studies themselves do give four directions too much at large, except they be bounded in by experience. This paragraph talks about the disadvantages of the studies. In the first paragraph, we talks of advantages or the uses of study. Here we talks about the disadvantages. To spend too much time in studies is sloth. If one spends his time in studies too much, he becomes sloth, means he becomes lazy. So spending our time in study develops a kind of laziness in us. To use them too much for ornament, the first disadvantage is we become lazy. The second one is to use them too much for ornament is affectation, means if we study and if we spend our time in studies very much, we try to show off our knowledge. So that is called affectation. Affectation means false display. We try to display our false ideas or inappropriate contexts to make judgment wholly by their roles. It is the third disadvantage. What is this? First one is laziness we get if we spend our time too much in studies. Second one is affectation. Affectation means we try to show off our knowledge. We try to display our false ideas, our knowledge in inappropriate contexts. The third disadvantage is to make judgment wholly by their rules. One who spends too much makes their judgment completely depending on their rules. Rules means here what he studied in what he studies in the from the books. He completely judges. Then what happens is there he lacks some practical knowledge. Then what happens? He is the humor of a scholar. Even though he is a great intellectual, his mood or the state of mind is expressed. It became very funny. It became a comedy. Why? Because he lacks the practical knowledge. They perfect nature. They refers to here studies. Studies perfect our nature, means our behavior. They make pure. They make correct. They correct our behavior and are perfected by experience. They are more perfected by our experience. When we use our bookish knowledge in the along with the practical knowledge, then we become more perfect. We are more perfected by experience. So experience is important. We say experience is a great master. That supports this sentence. For natural abilities are like natural plants. We have some natural abilities that come by birth. Those abilities, those skills are like natural plants. They are like natural plants that need pruning by study. Pruning means removal of excess. If we have some plants in the garden, what we cut the unnecessary excessive parts of a plant or the branches. Then what happens, it helps the plant to grow well. In the similar way, that need pruning by study. So our experiences also should be guided by studies. And studies themselves do give four directions too much at large, except they are bounded in by experience. Studies gives much knowledge, okay, but what happens, they give directions, they give much knowledge at large, in a large quantity, or in longer way, except or broader way, except they are bounded in by experience. See, what happens is, if we have only the bookish knowledge without having the practical knowledge in the real life situations, our knowledge becomes useless. Why? Because practicality is important here. Here, Francis Bacon insists on the practical knowledge in addition to the bookish knowledge. We need both bookish knowledge and the practical knowledge. We have the bookish knowledge when we study some books. When we spend in our classrooms, we are given some knowledge by the teachers. But in addition to that, come out of the classroom and observe in the nature what is going on, and learn from the world what it what is going on in the world. So you are suggested to observe the things going around you and acquire the knowledge from the nature. Nature is also a great master. Experience is a great master. So the practical knowledge is important. This practical knowledge is important. Why? Because see, some science students, they make practicals in the laboratory. Why do they do so? In addition to reading those concepts from the books, they have to experience about the actions and the reactions of the chemicals. So in similar way, we need the practicality. And for a social student, if he reads about some historical places from the books, he gets some knowledge, okay, it's okay. But when he visits any historical places, his knowledge is strengthened because he experienced it by his own eyes, or he gets that perceptions very well. Let's move to the next part. Crafty men contemn studies, simple men admire them, and wise men use them. For they teach not their own use, but that is a wisdom without them, and above them won by observation. Read not to contradict and confute, not to believe and take for granted, not to find talk and discourse, but to weigh and consider. Crafty man means they are clever, but they are not honest. They are not honest. Crafty, that kind of men, that kind of people condemn. Contempt means they dislike, they don't like studies, they underestimate the studies, they comment on the studies about it, the studies are not useful, they say like that. And simple men, the simple people admire them, means praise them, they appreciate the studies, but they don't involve very well. And the wise men use them. The wise people use them in a proper way, in a planned way. Means they acquire knowledge, they acquire complete knowledge. For they teach not their own use. They acquire knowledge not only what is given in the bookish knowledge, but also in the practical knowledge, and they teach to others what they know. But that is a wisdom without them, and above them won by observation. Here, crafty men underestimate the studies. That is a wisdom without them, and without using that practicality, it's not wisdom. And above them won by observation. All the knowledge becomes perfect only observation, are only when it is connected with the real life situations or the practical knowledge. Read not to contradict and confute, not to believe and take for granted, not to find talk and discourse, but to weigh and consider. Read here in these lines, Francis Bacon, what kind of people are there and how their treatment towards the studies. And here discusses the rules of study. What are the rules of study? Read not to contradict. Read the books, but that is not to contradict. That is for not contradicting means to deny the truth. Don't deny the truth. And confute means prove to be wrong, not to prove something to be wrong if it is right. So what he says in simple words is, we should not believe anything blindly without assuming something whether it is right or wrong, and we should not simply deny the truth if there is truth. So after meticulous observation, after assuming something in a careful way or verification, we have to accept it, or we should not blind it. We should not accept it in a blind manner. Not to believe and take for granted. We should not believe anything in a blind way and in a easy way. Don't take it for granted. Don't assume something to be true without verification. Without verification, don't take it granted. Don't simply believe whatever you read in the books. You have to judge, you have to decide which is correct and which is not correct. Not to find talk and discourse. It is don't study just simply talk, have a conversation or a speech, but to weigh and consider. Simply don't leave it without weighing and considering means we have to acquire the concepts, we have to acquire the ideas or thoughts that were mentioned in the studies, that we studied there in the books. So whatever we study, we have to acquire, we have to practice them, we have to consider them, we have to weigh means we have to assume them in a proper way with proper verification. We have to consider, we have to take into our consideration, we have to practice them. So following is important. So we say it is easy said than done. So to say it's very easy, to do it's very difficult. So like not like that, we have to use our knowledge in our practical way, to preach, to do something, but without doing without practicing the morals or principles, we should not say. So to weigh and consider, that's, and this line supports that idea. Thank you so much. We completed the half part of the lesson, and we will have the remaining part in the part 2 video. These are the we will discuss in the next class, part 2 video. Thank you so much. To watch more videos on grammar lessons, please subscribe our channel if you haven't yet.